Hello, my name's Steve Woodall. I've put together a little video on South African butterflies. This is a quick introduction to South African butterflies. It leans heavily on my home province, KwaZulu-Natal, and the butterflies found here. I've lived in South Africa for 44 years, the last 19 in a suburb of Durban. There's a subtropical paradise and within easy reach of some awesome biodiversity. South Africa is different to most other African countries butterfly-wise. We have everything from tropical rainforest species, some of them are endemic, as well as temperate savanna, grassland, and macchia species that occur nowhere else. We also have friendly people. The infrastructure in most of the country is first class. There's great cuisine, comfortable lodges, and most of the country is malaria-free. I'll try to cover some of what's special about South Africa in this video. This is Geba Gorge in Durban, near where I live. It's a glorious forest reserve in a deep forested valley. Durban's infrastructure was damaged by flooding in 2022, and our municipality is working hard to upgrade facilities at local nature reserves. I help manage one of them, and I can vouch for this. At Geba, we can see the road that runs through the reserve, one of the commoner butterflies, the common mother of pearl, Protogoniomorpha parhasus, and its scenery of grasslands and riverine forest. You get to vantage points above the forest here and see sights like velvet prince, Erebia ithalian. This is a female false wanderer, Pseudocrea uritus imitator, one of the lymphalid subfamily Liminitidae. She's found something tasty on the forest road at Geba, and she's walking around it, slowly sucking on it, fanning her wings up and down slowly. This is one of the sights you can see in any of the forests of eastern South Africa. This male southern narrow-banded malachite, or green-banded swallowtail, is sucking moisture where a stream crosses the road. He's filtering out salts from the water and venting the rest from his rear end. Latin name for this butterfly, Papilio nereus laeus. Our KwaZulu-Natal nature reserves are great places to go butterfly watching. The nearby Cranscliffe Nature Reserve, recently been upgraded, has amazing scenery as well as good butterflies, including some megas. There are nearby attractions in the area run by locals, the so-called green corridors, and these are often just as good as the reserve itself. Kenneth Steenbank and Burman Bush Nature Reserves in Durban are clean and in good condition, again with good butterflies to see. Let's have a look at some butterfly videos taken in Durban. This is a sequence I shot locally of two Caraxes species tussling over a piece of fermenting banana. A female Caraxes citharon, blue-spotted emperor or Caraxes, and a male Caraxes brutus, the southern white bar. Whilst a Sabinia boisdevali, Boisdevals tree nymph, tries to get in on the action. Protogoniomorpha parhasus, the common mother of pearl, can be well common near here. Here's a male trying to initiate mating, but the female just doesn't seem interested. Protogoniomorpha nebulosa, the other or clouded mother of pearl, isn't as common in our area, but visitors always have a chance to see one. This female was nectaring on a Micania creeper on the canopy edge at Kenneth Steenbank Nature Reserve when I was with the clients in 2023. Overrock is a community-owned nature reserve with impressive cliffside views. The area is known for its huge cliffs, pristine grasslands, and dense scarp forests full of butterflies. And nearby is a scenic Kranzkloof Nature Reserve where many rare butterflies are found. This iconic endemic bicoloured paradise skipper male, Abanthis bicolor, was photographed in Kranzkloof on one of the hilltops. And nearby, the endemic coast purple-tip, Calotes ironi, the only purple tip confined to South Africa. When the Natal lavender, Heteropyxis natalensis, flowers in late summer, it attracts hordes of butterflies like these Boisdevald's tree nymphs, Savina boisdevali. And when Baccharoides adoensis is in flower, it's even better, like this southern gaudy commodore, Precis octaviosissimus, form sessimus, the winter form with the blue wings. Or this Natal silverline, Sigaritis natalensis. February to April are good times to visit here. KwaZulu-Natal has got many good places outside Durban, of course. Harold Johnson Nature Reserve is a species-rich area on the south bank of the mighty Tugela River, traditionally the border between the old colony of Natal and Zululand. Inland of this, we have Hlinza Nature Reserve at Ishawi with its canopy walkway. And close to there, there's the hilltop at Mandawe Cross, where scarce forest and savanna species congregate to find mates and visit nectar plants. Ongoye is worth visiting. There's a good tar road to its edge, but to get to the western side requires a special vehicle. The best place to stay here is Ishawi. I led a BirdLife SA community guide training course at Mtunzini last year. It went very well, and others planned there this year. Kaleni is where Fagasa guides like me get their certification training. It's very well run. It even has gold-banded foresters and a tame arena trogon. The camps at Nkuzi have been rebuilt. There are good places to stay nearby. Nkuzi, like Tembe, has got dangerous game, so you can't get out your car, but there are places you can get out of your vehicle and walk. There are other nature reserves in the area and lodges where we can stay. This is Harold Johnson Nature Reserve with its historic Tugela River views. And this patrician giant cupid, Lepidochrysos patricia, which is best seen in October, was photographed there. And Boisdevald's Falsacria, Pseudocrea boisdevali trimani, which is so obliging at Harold Johnson as to pose right in front of your face. Late summer is the best time to see these. The Forest Queen, Eusanthe wakefieldi, is another late summer special. These canopy dwellers can be attracted using bait. This is the view from the canopy tower above Hlinza Forest Nature Reserve, Ishawi. Many forest canopy dwellers can be seen here. And here are some views inside the forest canopy at Hlinza Forest Nature Reserve at Ishawi. Blonde gliders, Samathoicoranus, and false chiefs, pseudonym for Lucretia, are drinking fig juice in the canopy at Hlinza. That's something you can only see at the top of the canopy. The straight line sapphire, Iolus salaris female, was photographed perching in the canopy near her host plant, hairy mistletoe, Erianthemum dregii, another canopy plant. Male lesser fig tree blue, Myrina dermaptera displaying in the fig tree. These can be seen at any time of the year except the midwinter months of June to August. A male Midlands forest king, Caraxes zipheres penningtoni, feeding on tree sap at Hlinza. And this is Mandawe Hill near Ishawi, one of the best hilltop lekking spots in South Africa. It stands out over an open area of savanna and woodland, and many species find their way to the top at midday. And here we find Hutchinson's high flyer, Aphnis hutchinsonii, which is an uncommon butterfly in South Africa, but there are good places to find it all over the place if you know where to look. The tailed black-eye, Leptomarina hirundo, plays around in the shade underneath the trees, and the eastern scarlet, Axiocerces chuani, is found dogfighting around the bushes and will perch very close to you. The queen purple tip, Phlotis regina, here is seen nectaring on barley area at the hilltop. Here we see the savanna of Imphalosi Nature Reserve. One of the butterflies I photographed here on a walking safari was the Zulu shadefly, Cinara hebe. This butterfly is also found in the lower Zululand reserves like False Bay Park. False Bay Park, which is on the coast adjacent to Umfolozi and Mandawe, is a national nature reserve where you may see butterflies massing to feed on nectar at the side of the road, as you can see here. These are the rolling hills of central Zululand, as seen from the forest grassland mosaic of Ngoe Forest. The ridge in the middle distance is where Mandawe is situated. This area is very rich in butterflies. Ongoye is another place to see the red-listed bicoloured paradise skipper, Abantes bicolor. This is a rarely seen female, nectaring on the endemic shrubby white pincushion, Lasiosiphon calocephalus. When the shrubby white pincushion is flowering, many forest butterflies come down to enjoy its nectar. Like this female mocha swallowtail, Papiliodardanus cinerea, form Hippocoonides, which is one of the many mimetic forms of this butterfly. This is sand forest at Kuleni, where you can walk in safety looking for Zululand special butterflies like the Zulu yellow buff, Pterimima zuluana, and Graphian colonna, the mamba swordtail. These are best sought out in October and November. Kuleni is one of several places where you can see the gold-banded forester Euphedra neophron. These can be seen in early and late summer, although February to April is best. Although it has a gaudy upper side, the gold-banded forester is cryptic underneath and is easy to miss as it sits on the forest floor. In the far north of Zululand, we have reserves like the Tembe Elephant Park near the Mozambique border and its surrounding areas. It's sand forest like Kuleni and has a mosaic of savanna grassland and woodland. It's at places like Tembe where we can see the awesome dark webbed ringlet Fiscae neuropanda. This is a close relative of the Zulu shadefly we saw earlier, but it's more often found in open country. Wherever you go in South Africa, you're likely to come across these little butterflies of woollylegs, Lachnocnema lachys or Lachnocnema bibulus. The two species are very alike and difficult to tell apart in the field. They're non-plant eating. The larvae prey on scale bugs and their relatives, and they shelter in ants' nests. The adults join in with the ants to drink the honeydew secreted by the bugs. South Africa has some spectacular lycaenids, and here's another one that was seen at Tembe, Baucus marbled sapphire, Stagita bauceri. The upper side is blue and black marbled with white. When the first rains come, the grasslands light up green and are as full of flowers as alpine meadows. The area between the coastal escarpment and the Drakensberg is rich in wildflowers and has some unique butterflies. Many of them are found nowhere else but South Africa. The flower-bedecked hillsides of Montessil are about 50 kilometres inland of Durban. This protected area starts showing off just after the rains start in October and go right through to February. The area is home to the endangered yellowish Amacosa rock-sitter, Derbania amacosa flavida, which flies from late November to early January. This is one of 7 subspecies of Derbania amacosa found in South Africa, all of them unique to this country. The larvae feed on the cyanobacteria component of lichens. The Sabi smoky blue, Euchrysos dolorosa, is found wherever its host plant Ocimum obovatum grows, and it does so in profusion at Montecille. This female is on one of the flowers. And we have a few species of russets, like this spectacular apricot russet, Aleades oranda, with its bright magenta underside. It's another South African grassland special. Another grassland special is the pirate, Catacropter cloanthe, which is found all over Africa, but our grasslands are a great place to see it. These majestic grasslands are at Spitzkop, about 180 kilometres inland of Durban, around the town of Escourt in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands. They are home to some familiar but beautiful butterflies like the summer form southern gaudy commodore, Precis octaediocecinus form natalensis, which is orange, and the citrus swallowtail Papilio demodocus that likes to perch on hilltop plants like this one. But it's one of the best places to see the endangered Midlands widow Dingana dingana. Widow butterflies are only found in South Africa, and this one flies in November. There's a good farmhouse B&B on site, but that's not all that flies here. The endangered Escort giant cupid, Lepidocrasus pefrido, flies at the same spot, as well as the attractive king giant cupid, Lepidocrasus tantalus. It's not quite as rare, but it's another endemic South African butterfly. What makes South Africa unique is that we have many butterfly species that are found nowhere else. The forests and grasslands of the eastern side of South Africa are home to many endemics. Some of them are forest specialists, but the grasslands hold most of them. And as we move further south and west, we begin to see butterflies from the Cape Macho regions. This is different to KwaZulu-Natal. Butterflies may be numerous in a particular spot, but they're specialized and they live in discrete colonies. The species count at one locality may be low compared to a subtropical forest, and finding them may require long drives and walks, but their twitching challenge and the scenery are worth it. The bush beauty, Phyolithe dendrophyllus, is endemic to South Africa and has no equivalents elsewhere. It's pretty much unique. The bush kite swallowtail, Papilio euphranor, is also a South Africa endemic, and it's our only laurel feeding Papilio. The brilliant giant cupid, Lepidocrasus asteris, is one of a large genus of ant-associated lycaenids, and it's one of the biggest and brightest, and it can be found from the Midlands of KwaZulu-Natal, like Spitzkop, to the Cape. The ponderland autumn widow, Dioxylus, is one of an endemic genus of large citurines. This is one of the biggest, and it's found in the southern Drakensberg, again in KZN and into the Eastern Cape. This Swartberg dark opal, Chrysoatis swartbergi, is an example of what can be seen in the Western Cape. This one is from a place called Bushmanskloof, about 150 kilometers from Cape Town, where it flies on a high slope on one of the peaks. Luckily, there's somewhere to stay nearby. The monkey giant cupid, Lepidocrasus methymna, flies close by, as do several other special Cape butterflies. And finally, on this quick tour, here's a butterfly from the arid west, the king copper, Tylopedia sardonyx. This is found in the dry Karoo areas of central and western South Africa, and it's the biggest copper in Africa. The females can be 50 millimeters across, and be mistaken for the painted lady, Vanessa cardui, which is also found there. South Africa has recognised that the exclusion of the local people from the tourist economy in nature reserves was a source of tension and underlies some of our problems. In June 2023, government released a white paper on conservation and sustainable use of South Africa's biodiversity. This, and I quote, provides policy certainty and guidance in the conservation, sustainable use and fair and equitable access and benefit sharing of South Africa's biodiversity in order to contribute to the transformation of society the well-being of people and nature, and to the prosperity of society. This is already playing out with the Field Guide Association of Southern Africa, FAGASA, training of community nature guides in partnership with BirdLife SA and similar organisations. I'm involved in this. In some of the areas we plan to visit, there is already a core of such guides. We should employ them as assistants and help mentor them. This will increase the cost slightly, but will pay off in terms of safety and sustainability. These are the BirdLife South Africa guides I trained last March in Mtunzini, which is a place you should visit. Here they are on the terrace of Hunter's Bed and Breakfast, which is a clean place to stay and does great breakfasts and packed lunches, and there's some nice restaurants nearby. And here they are in the nearby Twin Streams Nature Reserve, watching something in the canopy. We photographed this giant emperor, Caraxes castor, in the garden at Hunters. The last photo is me with the FAGASA trainees at the course I led at Kalani, which is another place you should visit. In South Africa, we have a butterfly app that I wrote that allows you to find any of the 800 species or subspecies you've seen, read up on it at your leisure, see where it's found, and if you touch My List and have your GPS switched on, you can log the record. The app allows you to download your data in CSV format and send it to anybody using messaging or email. It's easy to import the data to a Microsoft Excel or Access database. We also have good field identification guides. There's my butterfly book, which is now in its second edition, and the recent Southern African Moths and Their Caterpillars by fellow Strake authors Herman Stodie, Mike Picker, and Charles Griffiths. We have two main butterfly seasons here. Spring is from September to November, and late summer autumn from February to April. Spring is a time to see the endemics in the grasslands and the Cape. Great butterflies, but the weather often has us say at that time of the year, it's when the rains begin. The main emergence in the eastern and northern side of the country is from February to May. Several endemic rarities appear at that time of the year, and the weather is the most settled, although frontal rain systems may occur from time to time. Midsummer also has its attractions, and many come here for this festive season, and like spring, rain may upset your plans, but that's a time to visit Lesotho and the mountains. It's when the weather's at its warmest, and the conditions are more typical of alpine regions. In the western and central regions, the specials tend to fly in spring, when the weather can be unreliable. South Africa is generally a safe place with friendly people who welcome visitors. They know that tourism is a valuable source of income for the country and will avoid doing anything to jeopardize this. However, like all countries, when you're in unfamiliar surroundings, it's important to stay alert and be aware of your surroundings. We tend not to spend time in the big cities, but if you do, don't wander around unaccompanied after dark. When traveling in a vehicle, when you're walking or eating in public, keep your valuables out of sight. Avoid flaunting obvious signs of wealth like expensive cameras. Rather keep those for the bush. And although it helps to carry some cash for tipping, buying small souvenirs, etc., it's best to rely on your credit cards. They're accepted nearly everywhere, and your guide will keep you informed should that not be the case. As local guides, we're trained to be aware of dangers. We're also trained in safety. We have certain rules that we will explain before we set off on a walk. Please adhere to these to make your experience safe and enjoyable. Malaria does exist in South Africa, but only in the far northern and eastern moist tropical and subtropical areas. We'll make sure you're aware of the status, where we will be travelling, so you can plan your prophylactic medicines. Always wear sunblock on a hat when you're outdoors in the sun. And South Africa has 11 official languages, but almost everyone either speaks some English or understands it. It's universal in a business environment. The slang can be very entertaining. The important thing is to have fun. I came here in 1980 because I'd always wanted to go to Africa, and at last I found a job opportunity here. South Africa hadn't been my first choice, Kenya was, but there were no openings there at the time. When I got the job offer, I remember the TV advert I'd seen as a kid. It said, "Come to South Africa, see the world in one country." That was an inspired bit of copywriting because that really is what it is. We've got everything from snow-covered mountains to East African style savanna, tropical forests, alpine meadows, and I haven't even mentioned much the maquis areas of the Cape Provinces, with a huge selection of butterflies including many endemics, beautiful scenery, great food and accommodation, and friendly people. As Tolkien said in The Lord of the Rings, a far green country under a swift sunrise. Well, he should know. He was born here. This is Steve Woodall. I hope you've enjoyed this, and please give me a call if you want to get in touch. Bye. I'm indebted to Alex Lee and other members of the Hong Kong Lepidopterist Society who made the video material from a visit they made to KwaZulu-Natal with me and the help Alex gave me in producing this video.